Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today I'm going to give you 9 things I have quit to save more money. I suggest you do these 9 things so you can quit and you can save some money. The next 60 seconds or so, we'll quickly walk through this, then I'll elaborate further. So, what is the first thing I stopped doing? I stopped buying physical books. Remember, I did not say I stopped reading. I said I stopped buying physical books. Why do I stop buying physical books? Because physical books, first, are more expensive. Two, they take up space. In this world, which all of us live in a very small environment, our apartments are smaller, our office spaces are smaller, even our commuting spaces are becoming smaller. Having a whole bunch of books takes up a lot of space, especially once you've read the book. Keeping the book around because we have sentimental values to it and we have memories of it and we would like to read it again, we tend to take up a lot of space in our house, having lots of bookshelves. And I've seen this in my own brother's house. He's fortunate enough to have a place which is big enough to accommodate these kind of books. Me, with 2 children and an expanding family, I have no space. So I've switched over to getting only ebooks. And the wonderful thing about ebooks is something like the Kindle or any other device which you prefer and use, it's always available. My entire library is available. I can read it, I can go through it, I can highlight on it, I can copy paste and look for other information related to it. So it's very versatile and it's very liberating and it's free and it's very economical. So that's when it comes to regarding books. Second, buying new cars. Most of us don't need to buy a new car. If you already have a car and it's working fine, there's no need to change it. Just because advertisers are pushing new cars, agents are looking at your car and saying, "Sir, why aren't you exchanging your car? You can give you a great trade deal now. Your old car, we can give you 50%, 60% of its value, and then you just refinance it." Don't. I stopped doing that simply for the simple reason you don't need to change unless there's a necessity to change. This comes to every single equipment and device in your house. Do not change your phones unless you need to. Do not change your appliances in your house unless you need to. Please do not change your car unless you need to. Just because your friends have got a new car or a new bike, there's no reason why you need to. Be prudent. It saves you a lot of cash. 3. Souvenirs. This was another thing which aggressively stopped doing when I'm traveling is buying souvenirs. Honestly, piling up my house goes in the same line as books. Piling my house full of stuff from other places and other cities in my house over the years has been nothing but clogging up my house. And the funny thing is, after a little while, it loses the charm of having that souvenir from that other place. And I inevitably throw it away, or I give it away, or re-gift it, or just hand it down to somebody else. This is why reasons I've stopped buying souvenirs. It reduces clutter in my house, saves me a heck of a lot of cash, and I rather have memories from my trips and have experiences in my trip. I rather spend the few dollars I would have spent on a souvenir on eating a better meal or having a better experience or staying in a better place. So try and do this. Stop consuming souvenirs from different places which you travel. And the funny thing is, in this day and age of global world trade economy which we live in, most souvenirs, I'm going to be slaughtered for saying this, do come from China. Even including in India, because China is the world's largest factory, most of the products which you actually buy are not even made in those countries anymore. So this is the main reason I would suggest that you stop consuming souvenirs when you're traveling, even if you're traveling domestically within India. Number 4 is updating technology. Most of us think that you need the latest Apple book. Most of us, you think you need the latest iPhone, and you don't. Even Steve Jobs' own daughter famously has said, from iPhone 13 to 15, there has been no change in technology. There's no reason to upgrade into the latest iPhone. I've been using the same MacBook Pro, which I bought probably now 3 or 4 years back. This is the M1, the first generation of the M chip. And there's been no real reason for me to move forward into changing into another MacBook Pro. The battery is fine. Its performance of what I'm using for, which is basically doing a bit of MS Office and browsing the internet and consuming videos, it's absolutely fine. Unless there's a real reason for you to upgrade and move on, please don't. A lot of you even look at cameras and lenses like this. Please do not change your camera body or your lenses unless there's a real requirement to do so. Otherwise, having an old Sony A7 III is as good as having a Sony A7 V. Trust me. This is also true in Canon and Nikon. For the amount of photography which we do and videography we do, most days nowadays a good iPhone does the same. Even famously, Peter McKinnon did a video which has come out where he has shot his entire video on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it was very cinematic, very beautifully done, and the whole thing was done on an iPhone. So begs the question, do you really need to invest in a lot of equipment to do great content? No. Even microphones have become abundantly cheap, so you don't need to spend a lot of dime on this. So stay away from updating into the latest version of technology and stick to what you have. 5. This I've spoken about a lot in length in lots of videos, which is selling things you don't need at home. All of us have things at home which we don't need, which is just gathering dust, and it's actually losing value because it's just sitting and we're not using. Circling back, this comes to our camera. Lots of us in our enthusiasm in our younger days have gone ahead and bought digital camera, a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Now that we look at it actually and think about it when I'm saying it, realize we don't even use it. Can get rid of it. This extra cash which is sitting there, which is not growing, which is not expanding your wealth, nor is it contributing in any shape or form. This is even true with old phones, old laptops. All of us have 3-4 generations of iPhones or something sitting at Samsung phone sitting in a drawer, gathering dust, really not doing anything. Please take them and sell them. They're losing value every day. You might as well take that money and sip it. Just imagine the amount of money you would have made instead of buying that camera. You had sold it and you had sipped it 2-3 years back when it's been sitting there. The amount of wealth you have grown, amount of money you could have made, amount of experiences you could have had. So think about this and get rid of it. 6. Investing in the unknowns. This happens to everybody and anybody which I know, which is famously, all of us have taken an LIC policy because we didn't know what it was. Everyone was doing it, so we joined the herd and we also bought an LIC policy. And we know now that LIC is a waste and no point. It's not an investment. It really doesn't offer anything. And whatever they're doing for us, we can do it for ourselves, by ourselves. We can invest in passive index funds for ourselves. We can buy a medical insurance for ourselves. And if required, if some of you do require and you don't have a safety net and you have people who are reliant on you and your salary, you can just buy a simple term insurance and be done with it. And if you add all that up, you get better returns and it costs you a lot less than taking an LIC policy. Now we've all come to realize this. But we were much younger, we didn't know, so we would sit and invest into the unknowns. 7. Fast fashion. I'm guilty of this and I'm trying to get out of this habit, and I strongly suggest you stop being lazy and get out of this habit, which is consuming clothes and jeans and whatnot, fabric unnecessarily when we don't need to. Most of us don't realize this. The shirts which we wear, no one pays attention to it. No one really pays attention to the jeans we wear other than us. And there's no really reason to change your clothes and change your jeans unless there's a real necessity in terms of it being torn or the fabric is damaged or is faded. I get it. Then change. Because most jeans last a lifetime unless you're put on weight or you've lost weight. There's really no reason to change your clothes. And the funny thing is when you do pass your clothes on to somebody else, another human being is actually wearing your clothes. That means if another human being can wear your clothes, you definitely can continue wearing those clothes. There's no reason why you cannot. This is especially true with shoes. Lots of us have sneakers and decide to change sneakers or buy more sneakers and throw the old ones away when they're perfectly fine. And we find reasons and excuses to change them. I would strongly suggest we look at this brutal truth which I'm speaking now and stop doing this. 8. High maintenance services. High maintenance services is something nowadays equally boys are guilty of it as much as girls. It was always in my generation looked upon as what women do. But I would say even men are very guilty of this nowadays, especially when I look at Keshav and his generation, which is spending unnecessarily on makeup, on hair products, on going to the parlor, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. All this is a lot of money which you can save. Most of it you can do yourself at home, by yourself, for yourself, including whatever maintenance work you require to do for your facials in terms of keeping your eyebrows trimmed, keeping your beards trimmed. I'm sure you can do all of it at home and you don't need to go out and get it done. All that saves a lot of money. Each haircut, each trim saves a lot of money. Instead of having monthly trims, maybe you can combine it into one single session for once in 6 months and cut your hair a little shorter and maybe change up your hairstyle and stop doing it and start saving the money. Last, which I want to talk about, is unnecessary gifts. Unnecessary gifts is, my wife and me are guilty of this, and I'm assuming you are all guilty of this, is every single occasion thinking of gifting people things. First of all, do realize like how you re-gift things, and you do not know what to do with the gifts people give you, and you wonder why they're giving it to you. That's exactly the same way the people you're gifting to feel. Believe it or not, I know it's shocking, it is brutal that I've said this. Oh my God, you're saying that the gifts I'm giving, people don't use it and they re-gift it? Yes, it's very true. Yes, it is very thoughtful. Yes, people are very touched. But believe it or not, people will value your time and the effort you put in spending time with them far more than giving them gifts. Stop buying gifts for children, especially if you're going visiting people after a long time. You don't need to carry gifts. You don't need to give gifts. You don't need to receive gifts. Strongly discourage people from gifting you things and strongly encourage people to spend more time with you. With that said, I think I've covered 9 things you guys can do, which I've been trying to do and stop doing and start saving. Thanks for watching the video today, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Bye.
I will be in Kuwait, as you know, on 24th November, the Friday between 3:30 and 6:30 p.m. I'm at the Yaqub Banquet Hall, Millennium Hotel and Convention Center, Ring Road, Abu Tar Al Ghafari Street, Kuwait. Those desirous of meeting me there can contact the WhatsApp number given below or drop a mail at the email ID given. My team will contact you at the earliest. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.